What's up, squash players? It's Pierre, and in this video I'm going to take you through this Dunlop PSA World Tour branded backpack. Many thanks to Dunlop for providing this backpack for me to review. This backpack overall is a nice day bag that can fit a couple of rackets, a pair of shoes, a change of clothes, and a few squash things. It's great for taking to the courts for just a match, or for taking even on a hike or something just for the day. Whoa. It's not a huge bag that you would take to a tournament that you would fill with stuff for, multiple days, but it's a nice compact size and a good design. First of all, this bag has a nice padded back on both of the shoulder blades as well as the inside of the straps, which are this blue, light blue color. It says Dunlop on the back. The straps are easily adjustable with these pull tabs. It also has a nice clip to go across your chest, which you can pull tight, and this is to take pressure off of your neck if you're wearing the backpack for a long time or if it's got heavy contents. The bag has 3 compartments. The back compartment is where you put your rackets, or you could put a laptop or something in here. It's fairly sizable. It's the entire depth of the backpack. I'll use a squash racket for example depth. The handles stick out the top if you have a squash racket or a tennis racket or something long like that. Inside the back area, there's a little place to secure the squash racket handle. You could definitely put 2 in if you wanted to, or more. There's the secure handle. Of course, you could hold the rackets in there just using the zippers, but this prevents the rackets from pressing down and opening the zipper to the side, and it also keeps them off the edge in case you're wearing a hat or a bike helmet or something sticking back, so that they don't whack into the handles. They stick off the side a little. The only downside of this setup is that if it's raining out, your grips are going to get wet. If that's a problem, then you should check out the Dunlop commuter bag, which is like this, sort of a day bag, but it's taller and it fits the rackets entirely within the bag. Of course, this back compartment can be used for other things. Like I said, a laptop. You could also put in your padel racket. Sorry, this is not a Dunlop brand, so we won't show you what it was, but a padel racket or a pickleball racket or something like that fits entirely within the back. The middle compartment is the largest one. It's pretty substantial in there. It's about that tall inside. I could easily fit a pair of squash shoes in there. You could actually fit a few pairs in this bag, or a pair of shoes, a change of clothes, and a few other things as well. The front pocket is slimmer. It's still big enough, just can't quite fit a pair of shoes. Maybe it could if I did it this way, but it's not going to zip all the way closed. So it's a little smaller than the middle pocket, about half the size maybe. It's got 3 pouches here. It's got, first of all, the main compartment. There's a divider. So basically you can put a laptop or anything in here that goes the entire length of the bag, and then you can put another thing the entire length of the bag on the other side of the divider. And finally, there is a zipper pocket, which goes about 3/4 the length of the bag from here, right here, all the way down to the bottom. So this is good if you want to put your wallet or your keys, or you have certain things that you want to secure a little bit more, 2 layers into the bag. One thing I like about this setup is it's not fussy. Sometimes you get a bag and it's got like a place for your pencil and a little tiny pocket that's like only good for one thing. This is pretty flexible. You just got these 2 different options, or 3 different options, and you can use them pretty flexibly. It's got a handle on top in case you need to carry it that way. There are actually 3 different kinds of zippers on this bag. There's the back area, which has a small zipper with a little bit of canvas attached to make it easier to grab. The middle area has these Dunlop handles here. They're a bit more heavy duty, and they have a little bend to them to make it easier to grasp. They don't have that extra bit of canvas attached to them. They're just longer in and of themselves. I guess they're meant for the most usage for the middle part of the bag. And then the front has yet a third type of zipper that's not quite as heavy duty as the middle section, but still pretty, still feels pretty solidly made. The bag also has two side pockets. One of them is a mesh side pocket and one of them is an opaque side pocket. They're both about the same size and they both fit a water bottle really easily. And the opaque one is just if you want to throw something in there that you don't want all the world to see. I've been using this backpack for a couple months and I found it useful in a lot of different places. I've taken it to the squash courts, I've taken it to the padel courts, I've taken it on a trip with me on an airplane in the overhead compartment. It's big enough to fit a few days worth of clothes if you pack well in here. Plus it can handle your laptop and other things in a bunch of different ways. I found it really convenient. I've also taken it on a hike in the woods, carrying lunch and some other things like that, and a spare jacket. So it's pretty versatile, and I've used it in a few different places and found it comfortable and useful. So one of the drawbacks of this bag is it doesn't have a dedicated pouch for wet clothes. So if you play squash and you have a bunch of wet clothes, sometimes the bag will have like an interior pocket that's sort of meant to contain those wet items and keep them from getting into the rest of your stuff. This bag does not have that, so you need to remember to bring kind of a plastic bag or spare bag like that, or just let your stuff get a little damp. The other thing that I don't love about this bag is I just honestly think the PSA logo needs a little bit of an update. I think the Dunlop logo is much cooler, it's much more classic, and not just the brand itself, but like it's pretty subtle here. You know, they've got the blue lines and Dunlop in kind of not ginormous print. The PSA logo, although it's not exactly huge, it'll just, I don't know, it just looks a little dated to me. I feel like this this character needs an update, and it's got this sort of blue and pink. Granted, that's a bigger issue than Dunlop can really deal with when they're making this bag. They are the sponsor of the PSA World Tour. I think as a racket and maybe other things sponsor for the PSA World Tour. So they've created this bag obviously to kind of celebrate that joint thing. And the good thing about it is, whether or not you like the PSA logo, it's obviously a squash bag. It's not like some other bags where you see a kind of an obvious, you know, it's an ATP tour or something that's obviously a tennis bag, you know, it's trying to be sold to you as a squash player. So I do like, even though I don't love the PSA logo as it stands, it's cool that this is a squash specific bag. It's December 31st, 2020, so Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for subscribing and watching Squash Source videos. I hope we have a great 2021 and that squash comes back stronger and this pandemic can be over so we can play more squash and watch more squash. Take care, and I will see you in 2021. I'm going to tell you all the features of the wet stuff